The Quiz On podcast is brought to you by the Flamingo Fund, supporting LGBTQ+ projects, organisations and initiatives. To find out more, head to flamingoscoffeehouse.co.uk/the Flamingo Fund.
Hello and welcome back to the Quiz On podcast with me, Alex Mitchell.
And me, Hollie Noble.
This week we are joined by a fantastic guest from across the world. We're going international, baby. Please welcome to the podcast, Lady Bushra, A.K.A Amir Dean. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I don't know how international I am because we are three Brits on a call. I think to make me international, I've just taken a flight somewhere else. So I might as well be sat in Amsterdam. Do you know what I mean?
You're live from New York, right? Is that correct?
This is true. Yes.
Well,
I am
come on, we'll milk that.
Yes.
International as we've gone.
Oh, is it? All right. Yes, transatlantic. You've gone transatlantic as well, haven't you? Well, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming on the podcast. How is life going over in New York? Are you out there for shows right now? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm here on a 1-year residency, possibly slightly longer. I moved to New York in October of 2024, so gosh, it's going to be coming to a year soon. And I've been doing my cabaret shows here, my stand-up comedy shows, as well as a lot of other stuff, being part of New York Comedy Festival, New York Theatre Festival. I did my first out-of-state gig last week in San Diego. So, yeah, it's been going good. Everything that I've learned as far as being a British South Asian drag queen is concerned, I've taken all of that love and some of the hate and spewed it this side of the pond.
Nice. Well, it sounds really exciting. Like you're having a great time. It's really cool. When we have a guest on the podcast, we start with two questions. First question comes from me, and that is because we're doing this as a remote episode. It's where are you and what are you drinking? So we know you're in New York, but what are you drinking currently?
I am currently, against my will, consuming a bottle full of isopropanol, 99% alcohol, because I did a drag gig the other day and I need to clean my drag. And I'm a bit of a hypochondriac and I am a clean freak. So to the point of being psychotic, I will clean my drag. So I will spray it with, gosh, this sounds so weird. You guys, I can see your faces going, what is wrong with this person? But yeah, so like I will clean everything. So I will clean the makeup brushes, I will clean the makeup products, and I use a spray to spray it. So inevitably it just goes everywhere. So against my will, I am drinking 99% alcohol.
Makes more sense. I thought you were drinking it. That was my first thought.
Yeah, we all thought you were drinking it and we were all panicking.
Oh no. No, okay, maybe a slight taste. And
the second question on the podcast comes from Hollie.
So how do you think Lotso identifies sexually?
Who is Lotso?
You're not going to know who Lotso is,
you need to go more mainstream, Hollie.
Shall we Google?
Lotso is a teddy bear from the Toy Story films, I believe.
Oh, okay. I've Googled Lotso. Listen, this is 2025. I'm not one to judge, but I can make rapid assumptions. Lotso is an aging homosexual. He is a old daddy bear who has seen a lot of stuff. He gives you the illusion of being friendly, but we all know the crap he gets up to whenever he visits Fire Island.
Amazing.
That's the best description we've had. It's the best answer to that question. We're going to have to stop that segment because it's never going to get better.
Yeah. And all of that just from Googling Lotso.
Listen, I'm a professional in being... Well, I'm a drag queen and I'm a stand-up comedian, so I'm an insult comedian. So this comes naturally to me against my will. It always does. So, being a judgmental individual is what I get paid to do.
Is that like that? So that is a really big feature of your drag. Do you enjoy that? Do you enjoy that being allowed to be a little bit a little bit, how would you say it? A little bit, yeah, making those assumptions about people, being a little bit fun and playful with people. Do you enjoy that?
A bit sassy,
Yes,
right?
that's the better word. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done these interviews before. Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I love it. It's part of my character. I think when it comes to drag, it has to come from a place of authenticity, right? And that should be the case regardless of what the art form is. I think these days there's a lot of artists who produce themselves with the hope of getting on television, for example. I'm of the belief that I have to put out whatever is true to myself. So, I have had a upbringing that consisted of being a child of migrant parents who had their own unique struggles of being of British South Asian heritage and not fully being accepted as a British person, not being fully accepted as a gay person, and so on and so forth. And so obviously that's going to build frustration, and I'm going to be inspired by the people that have been around me. So, my character is very much a mirror up to society, and you don't really want to be like Lady Bushra, but you're able to laugh at how obnoxious and silly she is, because whenever somebody spews that sort of judgmental hate, they come across as a bit of a fool. So you're able to laugh with Lady Bushra, knowing that the people who exist that are like her in real life are morons.
Yeah, great. I think getting to play that character is quite freeing, quite fun to have that persona on stage. I mean, we talk about it as big stand-up comedians. We feel that we have that persona on stage, but obviously for you it's a whole nother level. Is Lady Bushra, for you, is she a character or is she an extension of you? How do you view that?
Well, these days the lines sometimes feel like as if they're blurred, but I would say Lady Bushra is definitely very much a character. I'm a very different person out of drag. Bushra is larger than life. She's boisterous. She takes center stage. She's very presumptuous and mean to the point of being comical, but outside of drag, I'm an introvert. I'm very much an introvert. I love spending time by myself and doing my own thing, and I'm not really concerned about being the life of the party. So yeah, it's an expression of myself, but it's completely different to who I am on a day-to-day basis.
It sounds like incredibly freeing. It's really, really interesting the way you put it. And you talked before about sort of your British South Asian heritage and how that sort of shaped who you are now and shaped Lady Bushra, I assume, as well, and those experiences, because it is obviously a unique experience. Well, it's not that. You're not that unique. There are lots of people who are British, South Asian, and gay, but it's something that obviously me and Hollie cannot relate to. It's something that we can't. For you, growing up, were there any sort of? Did you have any family members, or did you know anybody else who was queer, or was it very much like you felt like the only one?
Wait, are neither of you two gay?
Yes.
What am I doing? Wasting my time speaking to you two straighties doing Pride Month. Bye.
Imagine if we were two straight people coming on talking about queer issues. That is arguably the most straight thing you can do.
Yeah.
Listen. Oh my God, you're laughing now, but I kid you not. The other day, somebody in India. I didn't sign an NDA, so I can say it. But they had a call with me saying that they're creating a queer dating app. And it was two of the most straightest people you've ever met. And they just secured funding to have a tech startup. So they were like, oh, let's just capitalize on the gays. And they were like, oh, we're a family here. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're not even gay. Like, go suck a dick and then come back to me. Do you know what I mean?
Go have some lived experience, then talk to me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, your question was being gay and South Asian. Yeah, in terms of growing up, I didn't have any queer South Asian representation. The closest I ever got was seeing Shabazz on Big Brother. I don't know if you guys remember him, but I don't even think. But I don't even think he openly came out. So it was very sort of hidden and subversive. I cannot recall a single queer South Asian growing up, actually, now that I think of it. Me and my husband, we got married in Bradford, and we were very much a novelty. Even when we got married, we were the first queer South Asian couple to get married within that region. And in fact, you know, my hometown of Bradford statistically has the fewest number of gay people in the UK. Now, I think that sort of, in terms of probability, is probably not possible. 1 in 5 people are queer, gay, etc. But it just goes to show the number of people who aren't willing to come out of the closet due to a lack of safety. So unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of gay representation, gay South Asian representation growing up. However, you know, if you can't see the change, you've got to be the change. And now I get to be a prominent South Asian drag artist. And I cannot tell you the positive impact representation has. And I'm not saying that, you know, I'm an incredible person. I'm just saying that I'm blessed to be able to fulfill that role for individuals across the globe. And I'm very, very grateful for it.
That's incredible. It is incredible what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's obviously a privileged position, but do you feel pressure in that sort of sense of being that representation? Does that come with its sort of added nerves, added sort of stress to it?
No, not at all, to be honest. No, not at all. I don't, you know, I used to read Hallmark birthday cards, and when I was about 20 years old, I picked up an 80th birthday card, and I wanted to see what was written inside, because I thought, what have they got to look forward to? Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
and inside, it said, it was all about wisdom, and one thing that always stuck with me is to value the thinking of others, but to remain to yourself true. So to value the thinking of others and remain true to yourself. And I've always lived by that 80-year-old Hallmark birthday card. And so then I do get people saying, oh, you should wear more bangles, you should do this, and you need to be a model. And then I'm like, actually, I'm not a perfect individual, and I'm just going to do whatever I do, and I hope it gets better. So I cannot wait for the next South Asian drag queen to show how it's really done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm fine being... and there were South Asian drag queens before me as well, and there will continue to be after me as well. But, you know, I've enjoyed a significant level of prominence, but I don't feel the pressure. I'm just expressing myself however I am. And if somebody can do a better job, be my guest. But don't expect anything better from me.
That's great, and it's a beautiful message, but it does beg the question, why the fuck was that an 80th birthday card? That's gotta...
Yeah.
Because well, but that's the thing though, isn't it? Because none of us are 80. We don't know what they've got going on. So I read this, but there was loads of other wisdom in there as well. It was it wasn't, oh, congratulations for getting this far. The card was very much, let's reflect on your life, what's gone on. Do you know what I mean? So it was giving palliative care.
God.
It was giving palliative care.
Oh my word. Okay. Okay, it's quite, yeah, let's not celebrate. Let's not look to the future, because you ain't got much of one left. So let's reflect on everything you've done and try and remember that. I guess so. That's quite a sad birthday card now I think about it. It's like, oh, that's awful.
When you say you were reading Hallmark cards, like you were going into supermarkets and just picking, like that was a hobby? Is that like a hobby?
Why are you judging me?
Personal.
Wow. 2 straight people running a queer podcast judging me. I'm like, oh, how dare you? How dare you? I spend my free time doing whatever I want, thank you very much. No, I did used to do that, actually.
That's really niche.
I still got
I like it.
Because, like, I want to know, like, okay, like, because, like, are straight people okay? Do you know what I mean? Like, because being gay is very different. It's a whole different world. So, like, I want to see what people are giving their grandniece. Do you know what I mean? I want to see what the messaging there is, because, like, I'm not going to have that, and I don't have that. So I want to see what's going on. I'm not going to live to 80. I'm a drag queen. Do you know what I mean? We don't live for a long time. We live for a great time. So, like, I just wanted to know. I think I was probably buying a birthday card for somebody, and then, as per habit, I just got distracted.
Nice.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah, that
I
is
respect it. I do. Yeah.
You're
I like a
panicking.
niche hobby.
You don't respect it. You're panicking because you're being fear of
I don't
being
want to
told off
say
again.
anything anymore.
I feel like you're still judging me, Holly, but that's okay.
I promise
Okay.
I'm not. I respect it.
I think that's great. I mean, is there any other messages in birthday cards like that? I can't think of seeing anything like that. It's always just like happy birthday and like a bad watercolor of a footballer scoring a goal. That's the kind of level like birthday cards I see and receive all the time. Like I can't think of any birthday card I've looked at and gone, oh, that's meaningful. Like
Yeah.
Well, it's a lost art. It's a dying art, isn't it? Now people
I
just
guess
send you a
so.
like, comment, and subscribe on social media. I was so good at giving birthday cards. Oh my God, Alex, if you and I were friends, you'd have the time of your life at least once a year. Because I used to like hand make cards.
Oh
I
my
used to
God.
handwrite them like paragraphs. But like I like my husband, I will send him a birthday card. Well, I used to. Now we're married 10 years, so it's fine. But like I used to like make and I used to like write from cover to cover, and then I used to stand and hover over him and insist he read it in front of me. So like I know he's read it and liked it.
That's really
Isn't that weird?
sweet.
I love that. I love
It's
that.
That is great. That is really nice. There's a caring nature to that that's sweet. Like that's nice. When you were growing up and you talked about like getting into drag, were there like particular drag artists that you were like, oh, I want to be like them, or was it just something you sort of grew into and was like, no, I just want to do drag. I want to be a performer, or did you like
I love
specifically
how you
see
said
someone?
I love how you said when you were young. I've only been doing drag for 5 years. So I started when I was 30. I know, I started when I was 31.
Yeah.
So I've not been doing drag for a long time per se. I just look really old. But I
Oh, I'm in trouble now. I'm in trouble. It's my turn.
No, I started, and yeah, there wasn't a reference point. There is no, and I know some of my South Asian drag colleagues will get me in trouble, but I will say it. There is no blueprint for being a South Asian drag queen. There is a blueprint for South Asian cross dressers, or there is a blueprint for sort of looking feminine, but because South Asian culture is highly camp inherently, we
Right.
love color, sparkle,
Yeah.
we go big, our weddings are known for being extravagant.
Mm.
So then you have to think to yourself, how are you going to compete with that as a drag queen? So I've learned along the way, I've learned from my mistakes. Every single time my makeup was awful, I always gave it a character and just really leaned into it. And there's a famous, well-known New York-based drag queen called Shaquita, and she said to me many years ago, she said, I always say to my girls, go on stage, enjoy it, but when you come off, think about one thing that you could change, think about one thing that you could improve on. And she also said, don't wear cotton and always sparkle. I do sparkle, but cotton is cheaper, so I'm wearing cotton. But
Fair play.
but yeah, so that's how I've learned, and that's how I've managed to curate a aesthetic that is now worthy of a cabaret stage
Yeah.
in Manhattan. It has been quite the process, but I've enjoyed it throughout.
Yeah. What was it that made you decide that you wanted to do drag? What was it? Because obviously, like you say, you started when you were 30. Like, what was it in that moment that you're like, I want to do this?
I really wanted to piss off my dad.
I can
I
relate to that.
really did. I
Yes.
was like, do you know what? What is going to rile him? Me in heels. No, it was completely destined and destined, and it was completely by accident. It
Mm.
was completely by chance. Um, my husband and I, we started a podcast in 2019 that we still have called You Don't Love Me. And we were filming this documentary with a friend of ours that ended up on Channel 4 actually. And we were just in London doing some patchwork, and I had this idea in my head, this seed planted of, Lady Bushra of Bradford, because Bushra is often it's a name, but it's given in a negative connotation, like Karen, for example, and it's referred to those larger than life, boisterous South Asian girls. So people will say, "Oh, don't be a Bushra." My whole ethos is to say, "Be more like Bushra." Don't let
Yeah.
grown men tell women how to be, or how young girls how to be, essentially. So that's my whole ethos, is to play that larger than life character, because oftentimes when it comes to modesty, when it comes to honor, and all of that curated nonsense, it always falls on the shoulders of women for some reason. I think it's the dumbest thing ever. So I've kind of taken that all and turned it into a badge of honor. So I just floated that idea, and I got a big laugh on the table, and I thought, okay, there's something here. And so I went to a charity shop in Bradford. This was January of 2020. Went to a charity shop
Good
in
year.
Bradford. Yeah. They were raising money for some charitable cause that I didn't pay much attention to. But anyway, I saw this sari, and the sari was expensive. And this is how you know I'm a drag queen, because drag queens are known for, questionable retail habits, shall we say. So anyway, this sari was like 40 quid, and so I turned it inside out to make it look cheap, and I said, "Oh, there's no tag on there. How much is it?" And he said £3.50. So that's when I knew the universe was on my side. And so I bought this sari. I bought an £8 Amazon wig that kind of looked like Jonathan Van Ness, and just kind of gave it this character. And by February I was on stage, and March we had the pandemic. Then I started creating digital content that started to take off, and I've not looked back since. Something that me and my husband sort of, whilst having fun, created in the kitchen, has now landed me in a foreign country.
It's incredible. It's quite the journey. It's one hell of a journey you've been on. It's madness, really. And I think, like, you joked about it when you started. You said you really wanted to piss off your dad. Does it still feel like rebellion? Does it still feel like rebellious doing what you do, or is it now just, this is my life and that's
well, it's never intentional. It's never intentional. I'm not a big fan of I'm not a big fan of people who make a big pomp and show of what they do, like the ones who are like, "I'm doing this because it's representation and this is amazing." I'm like, "God, you don't give a crap. You're just clearing a check." Do you know what I mean? So like, I tend to find that my existence as a gay South Asian, British Asian individual is political enough as it is, and drag in itself is inherently an act of rebellion, because you are defying social norms. Men are supposed to wear manly clothes and act in a masculine way, and women are supposed to stay at home pretty and hair free aside from what's on their head. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what society says. And so then drag says, actually, I am a manly man who's going to wear a womanly dress and do whatever I want. So the rebellion is built in, and that's essentially what is drag's big draw. So I mean, I never really cared what my dad had to say before I was wearing heels, so why would I care afterwards? Bless him. He tried his best, shall we say.
Yeah. I think, like, I mean, I talk about when I came out, like, I didn't know any gay or queer people. I didn't go to school with any queer people. There were no queer people in my family or on, like, my social radar at all. And every queer character I saw on TV, which was maybe one or two queer characters, they were always the joke side character. They were never front and center. And so when I came out, I guess it was really scary for a long time. And when I eventually came out, that was a moment where it did feel quite rebellious. It felt like I was going against those social norms or going against everything else. But that's probably what got me through it, is going that actually that sort of strength in rebellion, and also, like, almost like I refer to it now, and actually I wrote it down in a journal years ago, which is very embarrassing, but I called it Project Gay because it was like it was just as how I was going to come out, and I think that's Project Gay is probably what got me through this idea of like, because otherwise it was tough, it was hard, it was sad, and this idea of Project Gay being like, no, we've got something to achieve here, we've got goals to achieve, and that goal was just to ultimately function as a queer person, I guess. But as a 16-year-old, it was like more kind of, it was what got me through, having that aim, that target, that project. This is what I want to be. And I think project.
And
go on.
How far have you got on with Project Gay?
I think I've still got quite a way to go. There's some things I'd like. I think I still worry about certain things. The way I look, I would love to not. Look, this has suddenly become very oddly personal. It's like things like I hide behind my facial hair all the time. I don't particularly like having my facial hair, but I don't like my face. I'd love to be more. I'd love to be more camp appearing, because that's what I want to see. But it's things like, I remember, like, I think when I was 20, I had I had my nails done for the first time, just had acrylic nails put on, and just that was just like, oh, I really like this. And I had that for like a month or so, and then was like, okay, no, I need to stop before somebody notices. And it's like, even as a 20-year-old, I was sort of like that. And so there's still a way for me to go in how I present and who I want to be. I don't think I'm quite there yet. I don't think I've completed Project Gay quite yet, and I'm not sure I ever will. But it's a journey, isn't it? And
Yeah.
that's just the path
It
I'm
is.
on.
It is. It absolutely is. And this isn't from a greeting card. This is something that I read elsewhere. But confidence is key. It's true what they say. Confidence is 100% key. And I know you say that coming out felt like an act of rebellion. I would argue that there's an element of social conditioning attached to that,
Yeah, 100%.
because if you take out the indoctrinated stigma around being gay, then it wouldn't have been a second thought. The first time you found somebody of the same gender attractive, you would have just said it without fear of persecution. So I think there's that to overcome, and I think eventually, as life goes on, you realize that straight people are fucked. They really, really are. And I do stand-up comedy. I've hung out with a lot of straight people, and they get up to all sorts, okay? They have their own version of being gay. And so long as you are confident in your value proposition as a person, nothing else matters, and okay, fine, I get to hide behind a character, but, I'm putting on a dress and doing a pride parade in Bolton, and there's a line of South Asian kids looking at me like, and I'm like, and what? People's bark is way bigger than their bite most of the time.
It's important those kids see that as well. It's important those kids see that and go, oh, that is an option, or not necessarily, not even an option. That's just a person. That's okay, and that's fine. So,
yeah. I mean, drag exists in all shapes and forms. Like I'm doing by the time this podcast comes out, it'll already be out. But I'm doing a collaboration with this Trump impersonator, stand-up comedian friend of mine, and we're doing this whole sketch of a woke drag queen speaking to the president. And, we were talking about it, and he's in a wig, he's got makeup on, he's like, my get-up takes this long. I'm like, wait, you're just a straight drag queen.
Yeah.
He makes his money dressed as a character, but somehow that's more acceptable than this. So, it's the femininity, it's or the masculinity, depending on whether you're gay or lesbian, I suppose. That is what they're afraid of. It's seen as an act of sacrilege. And it's just a load of really insecure, sad individuals who come up with these rules and live by them, and hopefully they die.
What an ending to that! Was that in the birthday card? Hopefully they die.
Yeah. This was the haters section at Clinton cards. That's the point where I've got to. Do you know what I mean? Like, lead with kindness or just wish death upon people. I get black magic now. I get why people have voodoo dolls. I do. I really do.
That's amazing.
I honestly, I've never liked someone so quickly. Like the first time meeting them,
Oh, I love you too, my darling. I love you lots
cute.
and lots. Um, and thank God I am a likable individual because that's what helps sell tickets to my show.
Yeah.
Hey, if you've got it,
I can
flaunt it. You got to
imagine.
use it. You got that.
Oh yeah, because I'm old now, so might as well use whatever I've got left before it shrivels up and dies.
Again, I don't think that was in the birthday card either, right? I think like what's really like interesting with drag and performance and us for performance as well is inherently like we have to be people pleasers and we have to enjoy being in front of people and around people. Yet often we come off stage and we are very much like, oh God, that was this or that was that, and we're never almost like quite pessimistic about it. But I think like I would 100% say in performance, I'm much more of a people person. Off stage, I'm like, I will happily chat to you, but let's get this over. Let's get this wrapped up quick. Like is how I tend to be. And I think with drag, is there that even more element of like because your drag, especially, you're talking to people, you're encouraging people to get involved. Like how does that sort of relate to your normal life? Have you always been like that? Have you always been interested in people and what people like look like, or is it something that you've sort of just developed for stage?
Yeah, I mean, you can't be at two places at the same time, right? So if I'm going to be an introvert, I've got to be an introvert at
Mm.
home, and when I'm on stage and when I'm on performance mode, then I have to be socially interactive. As human beings, we are social beings, so like it is in our nature to just talk and get along with people and so on and so forth. So yeah, when I'm doing stand-up comedy, I'm very much that sort of social, interactive individual. I've always been fascinated by the human experience, so I write comedy daily. I will, observe people and I will sort of be inspired by what's going on in the world. And although I hate watching the news, it's always important for my style of comedy to stay abreast of what's going
Yeah.
on within reason. Obviously, we don't follow the fake news. We don't do the fake news. But the other thing is when it comes to sort of coming off stage, I always do free meet and greets. So
Yeah.
everybody gets a free meet and greet at the end of my show because I want to make sure that they have a great experience, regardless of how I feel coming off the stage.
Yeah, and that's important. You want
Nice.
we all want that, and audiences want to be involved. I think you don't want to have, particularly with comedy, it's like you don't want to have that sort of glass wall between you and an audience. You want to, the whole point, especially my comedy is self-deprecating. I talk about myself and my life. A lot of my experiences and my observations. It's like I don't want to be seen as a character. I want that to. I don't want that glass ceiling or that glass wall where they can only view me as a comedian. The audience can't view me as a normal person. That's how I want to be seen. For
Yeah.
you with like Lady Bushra, again, because she is, she's an extensive view, she's a character. Is it, does it feel like the same for you? Do you want people to still be able to relate to Lady Bushra? Do you want people to relate to her? Or is it just about being larger than life and outlandish and showing people what you could be in a dream world?
I think if you can relate to Lady Bushra, then you're probably not the best person in the workplace. I think I think she's more of a cautionary tale that you can kind of go, oh, wait, yeah, there's people like that in the world and they're a bit silly and we can laugh at them. And the world, I want my comedy to make people feel like the world is a slightly less scary place.
Mm.
We close the door and we just talk things through. That's what we do. So my character isn't so much as relatable as much as it sort of brings a sense of joy and peace to people. Which I know sounds like as if I've been doing it for decades, but I'm just going by what people send me in the DMs. I remember somebody, yeah, I cannot tell you the number of messages I get of people with an IV drip in the hospital going, babes, I've just had stitches, I've had a setback, and I'm just scrolling through your stuff and it's hilarious and it's really helping me. So that's the type of stuff that I live for. That's the thing that that's the reason why I do what I do. People have really brought into the Lady Bushra fantasy. Like, when they message me, they are messaging the character. They're not talking to the person behind.
Yeah.
In fact, whenever my husband and I will collaborate on an Instagram reel, between the podcast account and my Bushra account, I'll get people messaging saying, "Who's this guy on your on your page?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I've been hacked." So like, people have fully bought into the character of Bushra. It's a real person that lives in people's psyche, which is wild, but it's kind of cool.
That's really cool. That's amazing. And I think that is a wonderful place to wrap up. It's so great to see your joy of it and hear the journey you've been on and the path you've created for yourself, your own version of Project Gay. It's really exciting to hear and see that and how it's panned out for you, and how, well, what the future holds for you is unknown, but I'm sure it's going to be absolutely mega. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really, really appreciate it. It's been amazing to chat to you.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. Happy Pride or whatever. And
Yes.
yeah, see you guys this side of the pond if you're ever in New York.
Yes, 100% will be coming to a show.
Yeah.
Thank you to you at home for listening as well. This has been the Queers On podcast. Make sure you follow us all on social media. If we do have listeners in America, if you're in New York, grab a ticket, go and see Lady Bushra's show. I'm sure it'll be absolutely amazing, and I'm very jealous that I'm not going. But you've been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for coming on, Amir. We really appreciate it. We will see you next time on the Queers On podcast. Bye.
Bye.
This episode of the Queers On podcast was produced in association with Unmasked Neurodiversity Network, an incredible charity in Leeds aiming to provide unwavering support and guidance to individuals within the community. To donate or find out more, visit unmaskednn.co.uk.